As you might have heard, the deer hunting season in Ireland was just extended. In this video, I'm going to tell you what does it mean for deer, what does it mean for the environment, and what does it mean for hunters in Ireland. I'm Tommy Serafinsky. I'm the host of the Tommy's Outdoors Conservation and Science podcast that can be found on this very YouTube channel. So, on the last day of deer hunting season, which this year happened to be on the 29th of February, the Minister of State for Nature, Malcolm Noonan, who is responsible for NPWS, National Parks and Wildlife Service, and by extension for deer hunting licenses, announced that he's extending deer hunting season and changes the schedule of deer hunting season in general. So, hunting season for females was extended until the 31st of March by 1 month, and hunting season for males was not so much extended as reopened because it was closed since the beginning of the year, and it will now run until the last day of April, 30th of April. That announcement was expected. There was a lot of moving parts and a lot of consultations, and Irish Deer Management Strategy Group was found, but I didn't expect that announcement to come so quickly. So that means that the minister has to be under a lot of pressure from lobby groups, from farming lobby, forestry lobby, and also notably environmental lobby. The last one is very tiny compared to the previous two, but nevertheless, it is worth mentioning. So all the consultations, all the recommendations from stakeholders, all those things, and then boom, on the last day of hunting season, it gets extended. Now, what does it mean? Some people will love it, some people will hate it. Now, my comments, and they are not solely my comments or not solely my opinions, they're shared by many, are that, the biggest objection to this extension is that it seems to be no scientific evidence for it. To the contrary, there is some scientific evidence that tells you that it will likely make problems worse. Well, obviously, we're talking about problems with forestry, damage to forestry caused by deer, damage to crops, to farming operations caused by deer, and also damage to biodiversity. It also has to be said. First, the biggest change is open season for male deer, which now will run from the 1st of August, which is opens earlier 1 month, and will run until the 30th of April. That changes that season from 4 months long to 9 months long. Now, if your goal is to reduce the overall population of deer, that change absolutely doesn't make sense, because anyone who has any idea about deer management knows that the number of male deer doesn't impact the overall numbers. That's females that are driving the overall number. Why? Because one male can impregnate many females, so you only have to have one male, really. So calling male and shooting more males doesn't make difference when it comes to overall number. Yes, there is an argument that males being bigger, they eat more, and therefore they're causing damage or more damage, so reduction in their numbers might have some impact, but overall the number of deer on the ground year on year will not change when you call male deer. There is also another unintended consequence of this, okay? So obviously hunters prefer to shoot males, right? Because they're bigger, you have more meat for your freezer, as well as you have antlers for your souvenir, your memento, or your trophy, if you like. Now, like I said, what drives the number of deer are females. Now, season for females was extended only by 1 month. Previously, it was ending on the last day of February. Now it's ending on the last day of March, 31st of March. So we have an extra month for shooting females. Now, unintended consequence of expanding so much hunting season for males is that hunters will already have their freezers full. and they will likely not need to hunt females. Also, they can hunt females at the same time they're hunting males. So why would they do that? So the unintended consequences is that they may hunt even less females rather than more, even though so the season is expanded. Especially so that, like I said, they can still continue to hunt males. They have their freezers full because they've been at it since August. And also, many hunters do not like and do not shoot females from January onwards because they have objections. Those females are in fairly advanced pregnancy. They have either moral or ethical objections shooting pregnant females, or they just feel sickening by grolocking an animal with fully formed fetus. Just mind you that since you can shoot females till the end of March, it's about 2 months before they start dropping young. So again, that change in schedule doesn't really make much sense. Now, what other things that can happen is that they will likely get nocturnal. The deer, we know that deer, if they're pressurized, they go nocturnal. So they will get nocturnal. 9 months out of 12 of hunting pressure will likely make them more paranoid and therefore harder to hunt. And also, it will likely increase dispersal, likely exacerbating the problem. So I don't know what was the idea. It's almost as if there's no time or money for developing proper scientific solution. So let's do something to show that we're doing something, to show to the lobbyists, to show to the farming, to the forestry, to the environmental lobby that you do something about deer numbers. But like I laid out to you, that probably doesn't make much sense. It probably doesn't make much difference. Few other comments on this. This is not about Sika deer. A lot of people say, oh, invasive Sika and so on. This is not about Sika deer. This extension of hunting season, is for all deer. Fallow deer, red deer, with the exception of county carry, of course. All deer. So it's not about Sika deer. If you're interested in Sika and whether it is invasive or isn't invasive, or whether it should be treated as invasive, I have a podcast episode coming in the coming weeks about this very subject. I'll have 4 experts, hunters, environmentalists, scientists, to discuss the issue specifically of Sika deer. So if you're interested in that subject, subscribe to this channel so you not miss that episode when it drops in a couple of weeks' time. Now, that whole thing seems to ignore another aspect of deer hunting, is that last year we had a record number of called deer in Ireland. And also the number of hunters, recreational hunters, are steadily growing year on year. So proper management, scientifically based management of deer should be much better solution, would be much better solution than just blindly opening the season, making season longer. Also, I heard no encouragement to take on hunting, neither from Minister Noonan for MPWS, nor from the environmental organizations who are otherwise very vocal about the damage caused by deer to the forestry. I never heard them saying like, hey, saying to their members, hey, grab the rifle, help us manage deer. Well, we know why it is not happening. Likely the majority of their members, people who are paying their money, donations and so on, are likely anti-hunting, or they're not like hunting. Again, I had a podcast episode about that, and in my opinion, this is just a matter of being honest with your members, what is good for the environment. And I want to close out with sharing my personal feelings about that. Every time the deer season ended, I felt like a bummed out. I wanted this season to just go a little longer. And more hunters had those feelings. You remember surely on social media, on the 1st of March, all the memes, is it September yet? But now, once the season was expanded, I feel kind of weird. I'm not sure if it feels right. Let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments down below. I'm really curious. What are your views on the expansion of the deer hunting season. Whether you like it or you don't like it. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.